Earlier today, for a second time in 24 hours, a separate judge denied yet again bail to Sean Diddy Combs. He'll be spending the time before trial in detention. Let's talk about this and more with our friend, legal analyst Tre Lovell. He joins me. Tre, good to see you here. You've been following this story really, really closely. Diddy denied bail a second time. Knowing what you know about the indictment, about the charges in the indictment, is this a departure that these judges are taking, or is this not unprecedented? Is this just routine?
Well, it's not necessarily unprecedented. You know, with the nature of the charges being in violence, being, rape, sexual trafficking, physical abuse, assault, the nature of the charges, it kind of creates a presumption that, bail may be denied. And in addition to that, with respect to him being a flight risk because of his wealth, also there's claims that he was tampering with witnesses, trying to either bribe or convince witnesses to change their story. In light of the threat of that, the court found in this instance that there's clear and convincing evidence that he cannot be assured to not be a flight risk and to not be a threat to witnesses if he's out. So it's a little, unusual in the sense that, most times you're out on bail because bail, the conditions of bail can satisfy the court that you're not going to be a flight risk and you're not going to be a threat. But here there's some extenuating circumstances that really push this judge, to go the other way.
So, Tre, let's talk about what clearly didn't satisfy the first judge, because Diddy's legal team presented quite a detailed, expansive bail proposal that was rejected outright. In it included $50 million to be put up by Diddy to get out of jail pending trial here. It didn't seem like that was entertained at all. $50 million. Were you surprised by that?
I was, and not only the $50 million, but, if Diddy were going to fly, we're going to flee the jurisdiction, he would have done it by now. I mean, this indictment is not a surprise. They knew it was coming. They knew it was coming since his houses were raided, and they secured evidence. It was just a matter of time. So if he were going to leave the jurisdiction, if he were going to flee, he would have done it by now. So what his team did is they had him come to New York 2 weeks ahead of time in anticipation of getting indicted to relieve the court that, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay and fight. As a matter of fact, we're coming to be prepared to fight. And I thought that was pretty compelling. But I guess what has happened is the prosecution has said, listen, and I think the original magistrate judge also, thought that, hey, you have a problem with substance abuse. A lot of this stuff happens behind closed doors. You can't really control yourself. Plus, the fact that you're reaching out to witnesses, we really can't do anything to prevent that unless you're incarcerated, pending trial. So, I was a little bit surprised because I thought the defense had a compelling argument. And it may well get reversed on appeal because now they're going to take it to the appellate court. But, the prosecution did present a compelling case why detainment would be necessary.
Okay, that was my next question. What other recourse does Diddy's legal team have here? You're saying they're going to take it even further. This was an appeal as well here. So it does seem like they still have options, right?
Yeah, so what happened is yesterday, the initial bail hearing was before a magistrate judge. A magistrate judge is more of an administrative and ministerial judge, kind of handles certain issues. And depending on that ruling, the defendant can then appeal to the current judge. So the hearing today was before the trial judge. This is a judge that's going to be hearing the case from beginning to end during the trial, and he's the presiding judge. So he heard it anew, and then he also denied bail. So now they have the option of going to the Court of Appeals. They have a right to a prompt appeal, so it should be heard soon. And the Court of Appeals is going to take a fresh look at it as well.
Okay.
And they may be able to convince the Court of Appeal that, hey, the circumstances that the trial court, that this judge felt compelled his being detained aren't really there.
Okay. It wasn't only concerns, though, of witness tampering. The first judge to deny bail was concerned that some of the allegations included in the indictment would continue if Diddy were not held in detention pending trial here. It seems like that was another concern, an aggravating concern, if you will, that these allegations, he would engage in this behavior again. That was quite prominent. That was quite acute.
Yeah, I think what was really compelling was that video of him assaulting his girlfriend in the hotel in 2016. That is a visual depiction of violence, and that stays with any person, let alone a judge. And I also think that judge had a problem with his credibility because he was denying all of these civil lawsuits. He was denying all of these claims until that video comes out. Then all of a sudden he changes the story. And I think that took heart with the judge as well. So the judge really didn't trust him. And then I think the third factor was because a lot of it is substance abuse and drugs. The judge kind of goes, "Hey, I don't even think you can trust yourself, let alone what your attorneys are vouching for you." So I think it was a culmination of all of that that led the court to making the decision to keep him in jail.
All right, we're going to have to leave it at that. Tre Lovell, thanks so much for your time, your insight into this. I think we're going to be talking a lot. This is really just the beginning of this story.
I agree. It's going to be very interesting, and each facet of it is going to be very interesting to watch.
All right, thanks, Tre.
Thank you.